So I'd like to call this meeting to order. The County Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, September 19th. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Are there any comments for items not on the agenda today? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve the minutes of September 12th?
Oh, wait, I do have a comment.
Oh, yes, sir.
I had to think about it for a second. So commissioners, it's important for you to know that there are efforts right now concerning county forest trust lands. There has been discussion from the governor's office of paying us some sort of SRS type payment, which hasn't gotten very far. And maybe you know about some of that. I got a call this morning from another county that has said they've been contacted by the governor's office about potentially taking back their trust lands. The county taking back their trust lands, and asked me if I was interested in pursuing that conversation. I said, yeah, I'm about 5 years into that, waiting for that to happen. So especially since we lost our jury verdict case. So I am pursuing that, exploring that. What does that look like? How could that happen? Is the state really serious, etc.? But I just want to give you an update on that's current events. And I'm working towards at least trying to get some answers of, we have a little more than 6,000 acres. We don't manage forest lands like some other counties do, but I have some thoughts and ideas on how we could do that. Right now, our average is 120,000 a year, roughly, of net from that. Other counties that have their own county lands that they manage in that acreage size, typically more than $1 million a year of net revenue. So there's a huge disparity here in what we're getting in this plan, in this current scheme, and it's going to get worse. So it's hardly worth fighting with the state over for $120,000 a year average. Some years it's down to 50. So I want to explore this, and again, for our tax base, the more acres of land that we could get, that we could actually get something back on and manage like private lands do, I think is a plus. But I just wanted to give everybody an update that those are conversations I'm having. We'll carry it out some more this weekend in Klamath Falls with some other counties, but this conversation is taking place, and it starts with Melissa Cribbins, who passed Coos County Commissioner. I'm doing that for the record. Is now apparently working for the governor's office in natural resource issues. And so she's the one who's reached out and asked this question. So I believe it comes from the governor's office. So makes a lot more sense to me for us to pursue that. What would that look like versus trying to get a state welfare check every year from our treasury without any real understanding where the revenue would ever come from. So it's not sustainable. It doesn't work, but so that's my update.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please go forth and do good. And that sounds potentially exciting.
Please keep us informed.
It'll be a lot of work. Yeah.
That's a big development that has actual possibility. That's great. Thank you. Any other updates? Okay, I'll now entertain a motion to approve the minutes of September 12th.
Also move.
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have two of our prestigious associate planners. Thank you, sorry, with us today. Hannah, do you want to start us off? We have two appeals.
Note the colors for the record.
BOC fan, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Morning. I'm Hannah Brickner, Associate Planner with Polk Community Development. The Community Development Department received land use application LUD 2334. It's an application for a winery within the exclusive farm use zoning district. On August 30th, 2023, the planning director approved this application along with 13 conditions of approval and sent notice of the decision to surrounding area property owners. A timely appeal was submitted which identified several concerns regarding potential impacts on an existing shared private road and easement, road maintenance, and fire safety. Polk County zoning ordinance section 111-280 requires the Board of Commissioners to determine the hearing body. The board can direct staff to schedule a public hearing before the Polk County Hearings Officer or schedule the hearing before the Board of Commissioners. Due to the technical nature of this application and the appeal, staff recommends the board set the public hearing before the Polk County Hearings Officer.
Thank you. So we'll take these one by one. Does the board have a preference as to who will hear this appeal? I'm neutral on this.
I absolutely support the hearings officer method.
Okay.
I agree too. When it was technical, that's where it should be.
Okay. So that is the decision by consensus.
Okay, thank you. We have another. The Community Development Department received land use application VAR 2306, which is an application for administrative variance in the exclusive farm use zoning district. Variance was requested in order to use an existing attached garage for wine production and to comply with development standards for proposed winery, which was applied for in land use application LUD 2334. This application for the winery, which was the subject of the previous agenda item, and the variance were processed together. On August 30th, 2023, the planning director approved the variance application along with 3 conditions of approval and sent notice of the decision to surrounding area property owners. A timely appeal was then submitted, which identified several concerns regarding the proximity and impact of the proposed activities to an existing shared private road and easement, the necessity of the variance, and the consistency of the variance with the comprehensive plan and the intent and purpose of the zoning district. Polk County zoning ordinance section 111-280 requires the Board of Commissioners to determine the hearing body. The board can direct staff to schedule a public hearing before the Polk County Hearings Officer or schedule the hearing before the Board of Commissioners. Due to the technical nature of this application and the appeal, staff recommends the board set the public hearing before the Polk County Hearings Officer.
And again, I recommend us go to the hearing officer. No technical issues.
I was okay with consensus there as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay, next up, the board will consider initiating a legislative amendment to the text of Polk County zoning ordinance, chapter 177. Michael, welcome.
Thank you. Morning. I'm Michael Burns, an associate planner with Polk County's Community Development Department. I'm here to discuss a legislative amendment to evaluate potential updates to Chapter 177 of the Polk County zoning ordinance, which covers the timber conservation zone. Initiating this legislative amendment would give the Planning Commission and Board of Commissioners an opportunity to make updates to the county zoning ordinance to provide consistency with state law where required, as well as consider additional optional changes. Staff recommends that the board determine that updating the Polk County zoning ordinance would be in the public interest and be of general public benefit and initiate the legislative amendment process. If the board initiates this process, a public hearing before the Board of Commissioners and the Planning Commission will be required prior to adopting any of these changes. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. Any questions or discussion before we consider our motion? If not, do I hear a motion to direct staff to initiate the legislative amendment process for
So
chapter?
move to adopt the recommendation.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye, motion carries. Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Looking forward to considering this in the future. Okay. Are there any non-listed items that we need to consider today? Hearing none, we'll adjourn. Thank you so much.